Carly, would you
Hello?
please resend me as co-host?
Hello.
Yep, give me one moment. I'm gonna
Yes,
get you in the
sir.
room to be checked in, okay? I'm sorry, Judge, what was that?
I said, would you please resend me as co-host?
I do not think I am the host anymore. Oh no,
You
now
are.
I wasn't when I first logged back in.
I know, I fixed it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Mr. Morton.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
I've gone through the 1 o'clock docket. I'm showing about 10 or 11 cases left for you. If there are any that you are dismissing today, or you have submitted dismissals through On Base today, would you drop those case numbers in the chat because I haven't seen any dismissals filed today.
So is it only today or would it be earlier this week at all too, Your Honor?
I've gone through the docket, so if there were dismissals that you filed before up through, I think 5 p.m. yesterday, I've already crossed those cases off.
Okay, yeah, I'm looking at the file. I'll go ahead and do that, Your Honor. I'm looking to see which cases was it we submitted the dismissal a little later then. I'll take a look at that and go ahead and do that, Your Honor.
I appreciate that. I know that there are a few tenants that have checked in. We will lock the admissions at about 1:15. Play the advice of rights video.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello.
We'll be right with you.
Okay, thank you.
Your Honor, are you present still? Sandy, are you there?
Can I help you, Mr. Morton?
Absolutely. The judge just wanted me to put some the case that were dismissed, I guess, closer to the court date in the chat. I'm just not sure if she wants it to everyone or directed to a specific person.
Generally they do it to everyone.
Okay, yeah, I just wasn't sure. I can do that. That's no big deal. Thanks.
Thank you.
Hello?
Good afternoon. I am Judge Martin. This is courtroom number 1. Today's docket is landlord-tenant cases. In just one moment, court staff will lock the main session so that no one else will be admitted. There will be a short video that plays to explain the legal rights you have available to you this afternoon. After that video plays, we will call each case. You will have the opportunity to speak with your landlord or a representative from Lakeshore Legal Aid. That being the case, Carly, if you would start the video for me, please.
Welcome to the 34th District Court. Please listen carefully for information about your rights and resources that may be available to assist you. Please have paper and a pen handy. You have the right to hire an attorney to represent you. If you cannot afford to hire an attorney, you may qualify for legal aid assistance. There may be a representative from Lakeshore Legal Aid available today to speak with you, or you can contact them at 888-783-8190. You have the right to have your case heard in the proper venue. If the property is not located in the 34th District, you can ask the court to transfer your case to the district where the property, or any part of it, is located. You have the right to demand a jury trial. If you want a jury trial, you must tell the court today or make the demand in writing within 5 days of today's hearing. You can use Form MC-22 Jury Demand and file it with the court. You must pay $50 when you make your demand, or within 5 days of the court advising you of this right. You do not have to pay the jury fee if you have asked the court to waive fees and the court has approved your request under MCR 2.002. If your landlord has asked for you to be evicted from a residential property because you haven't paid rent, you may be able to get assistance from the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services, MDHHS, a local coordinated entry agency, a housing assessment and resource agency, or a federal Help for Homeless Veterans program. You should have received information on local rental and housing assistance with the summons. You do not need a judgment against you to receive help from the places listed above. A copy of the summons and complaint from your case are enough. If your case is for non-payment and you have already applied for assistance from one of these agencies, be sure to let the court clerk or the judge know when your case is called. You will be required to submit written proof to the court within 5 days of today's hearing. Your landlord-tenant case can be resolved in a number of ways. You may be able to reach an agreement with the landlord by going through a Michigan or local community dispute resolution program. You can find a program at courts.my.gov/CDRP. You may also reach an agreement with the landlord that will mean the case gets dismissed. A conditional dismissal is possible when approved by all parties. You can use Form DC-508, Consent Order for Conditional Dismissal, Landlord-Tenant, and file it with the court. Information about your other rights and the legal process is available through Michigan Legal Help at www.michiganlegalhelp.org. Additional information on legal resources, housing assistance programs, and court forms are available on our website at www.mi34thdistrictcourt.com/department/civil. Thank you for your attention. Your case will be called shortly.
Thank you, Carly. Sir, take your cap off for me, please. This is 2401133LT. Rawsonville Woods versus Al Harvey. May I have your appearance? State your name for the record, sir.
My name's Ayed Harvey.
Thank you. Mr. Harvey, have you made application for rental assistance?
No, ma'am.
Would you like to speak to a representative from Lakeshore Legal Aid before you speak to an agent for Rawsonville Woods?
No, ma'am.
Then, sir, we'll move you into Mr. Morton's breakout room. He'll be there momentarily to talk to you. If you're able to reach an agreement or a settlement of this matter, come back out to this main session, okay?
I appreciate it.
Thank you. 2401147LT, Rawsonville Woods versus Jessica Friends. Ma'am, turn your video on, unmute yourself, and state your name for me, please. Ms. Franz? Mr. Morton, we have 2401136LT, Rawsonville Woods versus Keontae Brown, scheduled at 1 o'clock, is now 1:20 by the court's clock. The court shows all service is intact, defendant having failed to appear. How would you like to proceed?
Your Honor, in regards to Mr. Brown, just one moment. Page. So here we go. For some reason they were not in in order. Your Honor, based on Mr. Brown's failure to appear, we would ask a default judgment for possession be entered. Rents retained are $2,536.35. Court costs of $190.24. We're told $2,726.59, and this is a possession only action.
Thank you. 2401142LT, Rawsonville Woods versus Dawkins, again scheduled at 1. PM is 1:21 by the court's clock. Defendant having failed to appear, the court has confirmed service in this matter. How would you like to proceed?
Your Honor, based on the defendant's failure to appear, we were asking a default judgment for possession. Was it be entered? What was the last name you said again, Your Honor?
Dawkins. Asia Dawkins, 241142. I'm sorry, 2401142.
Your Honor, based on the defendant's failure to appear, rents retained are $2,700.04. Court costs of $190.24. Total of $2,890.28. This is a possession only action for non-payment of rent.
Thank you. 2401147 Rawsonville versus Jessica Franz. It won't let, ma'am, disconnect and then call back in. 2401145 LT Rawsonville Woods versus Angela Farnstrom. This case was scheduled at 1 o'clock. It's now 1:22 by the court's clock. Defendant has failed to appear. Service is confirmed. Mr. Morton, how would you like to proceed?
You said Angela Farnstrom, Your Honor?
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, based on the defendant's failure to appear, we'd ask a default judgment for possession be entered. Rents retained are $2,350.52. Court costs of $190.24 for a total of $2,540.76.
Thank you. 2401146 LT Rawsonville Woods versus Anaya Fisher.
Your Honor, based on the
Case is scheduled at 1 o'clock. It's
Sorry.
I'm sorry. That's okay. Go ahead, sir. Defendants failed to appear.
Your Honor, based on the defendant's failure to appear, we would ask a default judgment for possession be entered. Rents retained are $2,294.71. Court costs of $190.24 for a total of $2,484.95. This is a possession only action for was a non-payment of rent.
Thank you. Let's try this again. 2401147 LT Rawsonville Woods versus Franz. Wait, where'd she go?
She's
was-
coming back
yep.
in.
Ma'am? Oh, no audio yet. Wait a minute. Ma'am, would you state your name for me, please?
Jessica Franz.
Thank you, Ms. Franz. Have you made an application for rental assistance?
No, I have not. I did take a loan from my 401k though, so I have that check coming by today or tomorrow, which I've spoke with the office as well.
Okay. Ma'am, would you like the opportunity to speak to a representative from Lakeshore Legal Aid before you go and speak to an agent for Rawsonville Woods?
No, thank you.
Then we'll move you into Mr. Morton's breakout room. He will be there momentarily to discuss this matter with you, okay?
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you. Mr. Morton, if you want to go ahead, I'll call the rest of your defaults after you're done with your tenant, sir.
Understood, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you. I pulled you back into the main session as there were only 2 tenants who appeared this afternoon. They were asked and have declined to consult or seek advice with Lakeshore Legal Aid. If you want to stay
Okay.
around, you're welcome to stay for the docket, but other than that, we're done for the afternoon.
Okay, thank you so much, Your Honor.
You're so welcome. You have a good day.
You as well. Bye now.
Thank you. Sandy, if you would send the 1 o'clocks for me, please.
Okay, so I figured out how to unmute now, and I will do that.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
This afternoon, I'm not going to say it.
Please don't.
I'm not. I'm going to keep putting my notes in and signing my on base, so.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
How you doing?
I'm good, sir. How are you?
I'm doing great.
I was just waiting for the attorney to return. He is here now. This is a recall of 2401133 Al Harbi. You've had the opportunity to speak. Mr. Morton, how are we proceeding this afternoon?
Your Honor, the parties did speak and we've agreed to enter into a proposed consent judgment agreement. Terms are as follows. Rents retained are $2,390.24. Court costs of $190.24 for a total of $2,580.28. The payment date is March 18th, 2024. I did advise the other party of the fact that this agreement would not be final for 3 business days, 10 days automatically in regards to the right to appeal. And I did get permission to put his name on the proposed consent judgment agreement, Your Honor.
Sir, were you able to hear Mr. Morton just now?
Yes, ma'am.
And is the amount of rent that he's indicated, $2,390.04 accurate?
Yes, ma'am.
And you wish to enter a consent judgment that includes that rent as well as court costs of $190.24 for a total of $2,580.28?
Yes, ma'am.
And sir, you had the opportunity to watch the video this afternoon that advised you of the rights you had available in this matter.
Yep.
Did you have any questions regarding those rights for today's hearing?
No, ma'am.
Sir, as long as you have no questions, the court will await receipt of a consent judgment from Mr. Morton's office with those dollar amounts and an indication that you will pay that amount or vacate the property by
Okay,
March the 18th.
I had one question if I could ask real quick.
Yes, sir.
So if I pay my rent this upcoming week, will all court proceedings stop and everything and I'll be good, or?
Yes, that is, if you don't mind me, Your Honor. Yes, if, as I guess we talked about, if that payment is made in full, then there's no further action done on this judgment. And there's no order of eviction that can be requested, and this case is completed.
Okay, I appreciate it. Just wanted to
Anything
make
else,
sure.
sir?
No, ma'am. I appreciate your time.
No worries. You have a great day, sir. You're free to go.
Thank you.
Thank you. And then 2401147 LT, Rawsonville versus Franz. The parties have now had the opportunity to speak. Mr. Morton, how are we proceeding?
Your Honor, the parties did discuss this matter and have agreed to enter into a proposed consent judgment agreement. Rents retained are $1,527.12. Court costs of $190.24 for a total of $1,717.36. Payment date is 3/18/2024. I did advise Ms. Franz of her rights, specifically the fact this agreement would not be final for 3 business days, the fact that she did have the right to appeal the court's decision, as well as obtaining the ability to put her name on the proposed consent judgment agreement.
Ma'am, were you able to hear Mr. Morton just now?
Yes, ma'am.
Is everything he said true and accurate?
Yes, it is.
You had the opportunity to watch the video that explained the rights you have available to you this afternoon.
Yes.
Do you have any questions about that video or your rights in this proceeding?
No, ma'am.
And you wish to enter the consent judgment with the terms he placed on the record that has rent of $1,527.12, court costs of $190.24 for a total judgment of $1,717.36, and you will pay that amount or vacate by March the 18th.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any questions at all about anything, ma'am?
No.
Then Mr. Morton's office will prepare a consent judgment with those terms submitted to the court. I will sign it and a copy will be mailed to you at the address we have on file. Good luck to you. Have a good afternoon.
Thank you. You do. Thank you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. This is 2401152 LT Rawsonville Woods versus Hartzell. This case was scheduled at 1 p.m. It's now 1:35 by this court's clock. Defendant having failed to appear, service having been confirmed. Mr. Morton, how would you like to proceed?
Your Honor, at this time, would ask a default judgment for possession be entered. Rents retained are $2,898.28. Court costs of $190.24 for a total of $3,088.52. It's a non-payment of rent for possession only.
Thank you. 2401157 LT Rawsonville Woods versus Austin Metzger. This case was scheduled at 1 p.m. It's now 1:35 p.m. by the court's clock. Defendant having failed to appear, court has confirmed service. Mr. Morton, how would you like to proceed?
Your Honor, based on the defendant's failure to appear, we would ask a default judgment for possession be entered. Rents retained are $2,900 $27.68. Court costs of $190.24 for a total of $3,117.92. This is a non-payment rent for possession only, Your Honor.
Thank you. 2401159 LT Rawsonville Woods versus Jeffrey Moore. This case was scheduled at 1 p.m. It's now 1:36 p.m. by the court's clock. Defendant having failed to appear, court having confirmed service. Mr. Morton, how would you like to proceed?
What was the name you just said, Your Honor?
Moore. Jeffrey Moore?
I had a different one listed as the remaining case.
You don't, okay. The last case I have for you is 2401172 LT Rawsonville Woods versus Aaliyah Thomas Rahim. Case was scheduled at 1 p.m. It's now 1:36 p.m. by the court's clock. Defendant has failed to appear. How would you like to proceed?
Your Honor, based on the defendant's failed to appear, we'd ask a default judgment for possession be entered. Rents retained are $2,251.62. Court costs of $190.24 for a total of $2,441.86. It's a non-payment rent for possession only.
Thank you. Mr. Moore, I'm sorry, Mr. Morton, so you did not have a Jeffrey Moore?
I'm
Showing
sorting
us
through it right
still-
now. I know we had this was a large case filing and then a lot of dismissals, which is a good thing. Jeffrey Moore was yes, that case is a dismissal, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Morton. I will update our records. Unless there's anything else, that concludes this court's docket for the day.
Absolutely.
I'll see you next week.
You have a wonderful rest of your day, Your Honor. Thank you.
You too.